So when it comes to England, people like to say that it's full. And that's usually where they stop. They don't actually give you anything other than that surface level quote. All they tell you is that it's full, and then they tell you nothing more. So today we're going to have a look at the statistics, and we're going to see if it's as bad as we think it is. Spoiler warning, it's worse. It's actually worse. Because if we have a look at this here, right? This is a list of countries sorted by the density of their population. Basically, as you can see on this far column here, this is the density, so it's the people per square mile. We got Bangladesh, and we're going to get to England, don't worry. It's unbelievable. People who have been watching this channel for a couple of years now, they might have seen this before. But honestly, you're not going to believe it. So we got Bangladesh here with 3,287 per square mile. Going all the way down to number 10, which is the Philippines at 956. And just before I show you England's, right, it's not about how many people you've got in your country. It truly is about population per square mile. Because if you think about it, that's the only metric that you can really measure it by. But wasting no time here, right, we got England. And in a second as well, I'll actually tell you why it's not on this list. But if you have a look at this statistic here, right, so on the population, our density is 1,134 people per square mile. So if we go back to this chart here, England's density of 1134 puts us just underneath India and just above Haiti. That is absolutely insane. India's got a population, they're basically living on top of each other. And in Haiti, I don't want to say, they're using each other as dinner time. That's what I'll say. That's as far as I'll go. So it's not looking good in either of those two places. And then we got Burundi. No word of a lie. It's basically the poorest place on earth. It's in Africa. But it's like even the other African countries, they look at them as if they're poor. It's awful. I'm sure it's a nice place, don't get me wrong. But we're not that far below them on the population charts. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tell you exactly why the population density situation is a massive problem. And I'm also going to tell you why we don't actually appear on this list. So first of all, it's the population above 10 million. You got to get places like the tiny little islands out of the way. Places like Guernsey, or Pacific Islands and places like that. And truth be told, if you were to put them on, they're not doing very well. Do you know what I mean? There's no Pacific Island, which has got a massive booming economy. Other than maybe they've got one thing like tourism, but that's it. But 99% of those islands are going to be doing awful. So that just solidifies the point even more. But the reason why we don't appear on this list is because on Wikipedia, we would be classed as the UK. I know we got Scotland and Wales and that, but those places do have a lot of land. Same as Canada and the USA. They've actually, albeit there's a lot of places that you can't live. Scotland, Wales, just cliffs and mountains. It's going to be the same in Ireland as well. So because they would class us as the UK, they wouldn't show England, but otherwise we would be on that list. And dare I say, we would be the 8th most populated place on Earth. And here we are, just taking migrants left, right and centre. When we're already, I'll say it again, England is the 8th most populated place on Earth. Number 8. You imagine that? And the reason why that's a problem, like I said, it doesn't matter how many people you've got in your country. There's no other way to look at it. It's the population per square mile. Take your house, for example. Let's say you got 4 people living in there at the moment. Let's say it's you, the missus, and 2 kids. So there's 4 people. At the moment, it's probably fine. There's not a lot of queues for the oven. If you need to use the bathroom or the toilet, again, you might need to wait a couple of minutes, but generally speaking, it's quite open. Now let's go from 4 people to 6 people in the household. Someone might already be using the oven when you're going to use it. You might injure yourself, you might need a plaster or a bandage or cold and flu medicine, something like that. Well, there's a shortage because someone else has used it all. Kind of the same way that things are in England as well as the UK at the moment. Do you see what I'm getting at? Now let's say that you've got 8 people living in your household. It's the same house, same facilities, same amount of toilets, ovens, microwaves, same fridge space. And with those that we always say parking's a problem in England, right? Where are these 8 people in your household going to park? It is what's happening to the UK right now. And these could be the nicest people on earth. All of these 8 people. Let's say 12. No, let's say 24 people are in your house. And they're as nice as pie. Well, we're still going to have parking issues. They're going to be taking all the cold and flu medicine. There's going to be arguments left, right and centre like we're seeing on the streets. There's going to be shortages all over the place. You got 24 times the spills, 24 times as much cleaning. There's just not enough space to go around. And that's the point that I'm trying to get at, is that we are full. And like I said at the start, people just throw that quote around and they don't give you anything else. They just say, oh, we're full. Like, have you got numbers? Nah, we're full. But when you actually look at it, they're telling the truth. But I just wish that these commentators would go below the surface and look at it a little deeper. But let me know what you think as well. 8th most populated place on Earth. Does it feel like it to you? Definitely feels like it to me. And do you understand the analogy about the household as well? These could be the nicest people on Earth. But if you got 36 people, 48, let's go up to 48 people in your house. Where are they going to go? There's going to be arguments. You can't get medical attention because there's 4 people in front of you. Throw a couple of different languages. I'd be here all day. Do you know what I mean? Just giving you analogies. Different languages. And if you did enjoy this level of research, then I would highly recommend to become one of the 63,069 subscribers.
This country has gone crazy.